MLB, you have the best players in the world. You are holding yourself back. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MLB Between the Lines, a Major League Baseball show. This is your host, Omar Villaman. Today's topic is all about why baseball in the United States is boring. But before we move on to that, I'd like to let you guys know a little bit about what we plan to bring to this channel moving forward. This channel will be all about baseball. We will bring you in-depth lineup rankings, in-depth divisional rankings, in-depth power rankings. We have a lot of different ideas and content we want to bring to you guys all season long. All right, now let's get started. First, with the completion of the WBC that just happened, where Japan was crowned the champions of the world. With all the hype surrounded around the tournament, how much excitement surrounded in the WBC, I started to think and look back at some of the games. And yes, it was a very exciting tournament, but I couldn't help but notice a big issue. When I watched any of the US games, there wasn't as much excitement as the other games. And to be honest, I'm going to blame the fans. It wasn't as loud as Japan versus Mexico, and it wasn't as loud as Dominican Republic versus Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic versus Venezuela, Puerto Rico versus Venezuela, Japan versus Korea. And heck, when it was even one of these powerhouse countries that I just mentioned against any of the other countries not known for baseball, it was still more exciting and louder than watching a US game. The only time US fans get loud was when they scored, or when they got a hit, or a home run, or any crunch situations. Other than that, the rest of the time it was just a snooze fest. For example, when they played Mexico fans are up, talking the whole game, whether they're winning or losing, cheering their team on. They carried that game to be exciting. It doesn't have to take a hit, it doesn't have to take a home run, a crunch situation for fans to be engaging towards their team or even the game. Then I think, okay, why is this the case? I think I know why. Because they do the same thing during the MLB regular season. American baseball fans are just boring. Now, for example, go take the time to find games from Japan, from Korea, from Mexico, from the Dominican Republic, from any of these leagues around the country. Here, we're going to show some clips here, but we can't play the audio because of possible copyright issues. But go check them out for yourselves and see what I'm talking about. And this is how it is in most international countries. There's a passion behind the game, and I know American fans can also have that because I've seen it. You see it in the World Series, you see it sometimes in playoff games, but no, they decide to be selectively passionate, which I don't understand why. We hear all these excuses from fans. You go on Twitter, and they say, oh, the season's long. We have a long season in America. And I call bullshit. Japan plays 144 games, Korea plays 144 games, Mexico plays 114 games, Cuba plays 96 games, and all the other countries like Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, they play like 50 to 70 game seasons. And 90% of those regular season games are very similar to the WBC games that we just watched these past 2.5 weeks. The passion is there. You see it every single game. I gave you examples of longer seasons, I gave you examples of shorter seasons, and I can bet that even in America, you can't find 50 games from one team that can compare to the excitement that those other countries and fans bring to their games. So the BS that it's a longer season, to be honest, I don't want to hear it, But then lastly, I also want to blame the MLB. Look at the rule that I found for Tropicana Field, the Rays Stadium. It says noisemakers, air horns, laser pointers, and that's understandable because it'll distract the pitcher. You don't want to point that at anybody's eyes. But they call those things irritating or distracting items, and they are prohibited from being brought to the field. Why in the world can't fans bring noisemakers into the stadiums? Air horns, instruments, any other type of noisemakers. In Japan, they make a bunch of different type of noisemakers for the fans to bring to the stadium. They sell them at the stadium so they can cheer on their team. I think it's a big mistake that the MLB is making, not allowing it. If you don't want them to bring in those instruments or anything that could be used as a weapon into the stadiums, okay, that may be understood a little bit, even though other countries let fans bring those in. But why don't you then make different types of noisemakers that may be safer that you can sell and fans can use in the stadiums? I think some stadiums have days where they give out those thunderstick things or plastic, but that's not many days out of the season that they do it, if they even do it. I remember in the Dominican Republic when we used to go to games, they have them at the entrance like they do at every stadium. They do this at every stadium, but in the United States more they give out hats or bobbleheads or hats. But in the Dominican Republic, they do that along with they have those thunder sticks. Every single game, plenty of them for everybody to grab. You can grab as many as you want, and they have plenty of them for all the fans. All that makes the game more entertaining. MLB, you have the best players in the world. You are holding yourself back. Loosen up, promote fun for your fans, let your fans have fun, and this WBC energy that we saw for the past couple of weeks, the passion that is shown in other countries during the regular season, that fun can also be had during the MLB regular season. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, drop a comment down below where you think I may be wrong or right. Who do you think has the best baseball culture? Let us know what other topics you would like us to cover. Turn on your notifications so you know when we upload next, and leave a like. Thank you for watching.